All right, gang. Today we're going to get in the Wayback Machine and go back to the 70s and feature this 70s power icon, Doug Young, man from Texas. You could see he was pretty jacked. And no, he had no interest whatsoever in bodybuilding. Unlike some of the other power guys we've mentioned in the past. He was all about being strong and being big. Did aspire to playing football in his younger days, and his brother actually was a pro. Here's a few of his better lifts. Back in the 70s, that was for really any time that's good, but he was a really good deadlifter and a really good bencher, and his squat was pretty freaking good too. Here he is setting up with his Chuck Taylors on. Looks like he's got his suit on. Looks like he just wrapped up his knees for squatting in this picture. Here he is benching. It's a sequence you can see from left top across. It's like just starting and all the way till the finish. This was from a different article. Both of these articles were in or on the Diddalo blog. The second one, at least, comes from a muscular development article in '74. There he is. And you can see his shoulders look ripped here, and I think he looks more ripped here because he had to make weight. But just a huge dude, really strong. And when you see him next to some of his compatriots in the lifting world, he's even all that much more impressive, as you'll see down the road. He wasn't as tall as he kind of appeared to be. He was only 5'11", but a 54-inch chest and a 22-inch neck, and then having a narrow waist and hips. There he is with Marv Phillips, Larry Pacifico, and him. And Larry Pacifico is not a small dude, nor is Marv, and he makes both of them look kind of small here. Like it says, he was strong every place, and even though he was kind of a bench press specialist, he could squat and deadlift with the best of them, no doubt. It says here, started out low enough with a 305 bench in 73. And of course, Terry Todd had to include him in inside powerlifting with many of the other greats. And we're going to go into an article by Terry Todd. This is not the one just yet. This was an earlier version where he was really keen on singles. He kind of refines this. Here he is, getting ready to bench, and you can see he just has what appears to be a singlet and a regular shirt here. No bench shirt or anything. But yeah, he liked doing singles in all three of the power lifts. And again, make no bones about it, he had no interest in bodybuilding. But there you go. It's almost a 16-inch forearm. Big wrist. So, and he was never a 90-pound weakling like some of these guys claim in their past. There he is deadlifting again. And I'm not sure why you deadlift with knee wraps on, but some guys do that. And he did win a couple of championships. Speaking of Terry Todd, as I mentioned, we're going to go into this article. And it actually, as you can see here, Terry is with Ivan Putski. And he actually ends up training with Doug Young, Putski, and a few other guys, as he goes on to describe in these next pages. And he reiterates here about that in 73, he makes a huge jump of like 235 pounds in 8 months on his bench press. There's Putski. And there's Doug, one of the other guys that they were training with. Well, you can see they're not playing around on the bench press here. Putski was a big, strong dude, too. And again, he had no interest in being a bodybuilder. He just wanted to be big and strong. So, talk about the word getting out. And that Doug was going to be training at this facility. There they are. Here's the whole crew. There's Terry, Todd, and Ivan, and Doug, and a few other big dudes from the era. No lightweights in this crew. And this was what the bench press looked like in this particular, at least this first workout. So still doing your singles in there. Not quite as many. And didn't do a whole lot of assistance work. Much like our friend Tim Belknap, who we covered in the last video. But just basic stuff, Here he is again. You can see just ridiculously broad, thick chest, and as Terry Todd described, some guys are broad, some guys are thick. Well, Doug, he was both. Here we talk about the 75 Nationals. Which he won his class and ended up going to then the Worlds after that. There he is squatting, and you can see they're not playing around here. There's some serious weight. Now, his frequency of squatting and deadlifting, as will be mentioned along here, was not quite as much. He did more upper body work, which is probably one of the reasons why his upper body is so ridiculously huge. This was an article that he refers back to, Terry here. There he is later. This is on the cover of Powerlifting in 81 here. But looks like he's a little bigger here. So he won 2 world championships apparently. The second one was 2,000 pound total. And he was up against Don Reinhardt and some other big dudes. Here we talk about it. His program is every other day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. And it would just roll on like that. Here's Terry Todd squatting some big weight. And here's another big dude, and just a great guy for the sport. He was a great lifter himself. Him and his wife started the whole Luther Stark thing in Texas. This is another thing where Doug would change up his grip on the bench press. And, he would start out with this 32-inch grip and basically do pretty much a workout. There's Terry again. Just bulked up Terry. No semblance of an ab there, but he's just big and he's strong. And these articles were actually a series of articles from muscular development that he and Paul Anderson did. And it was on basically strength and size, which, again, not bodybuilders, but if you want to get big and strong, they knew the way. And here's a big and strong guy. Ivan Putski. You remember him back in the day. I used to follow all that stuff when I was a kid. I was a teenager in those days. And, me and my friends would copy the moves and all that. Here's another variation of the bench routine where he's doing not doing so much singles, but working up to doubles. 10, 8, 6, and doubles, and then a couple sets of 5. And then there's another shot of Putski. Now, Putski was much like our friend Anthony Didelot, who we mentioned in the last video. He liked doing partial stuff in the racks, heavyweight partials. Doug Young, not so much. And again, I tried to keep these text boxes with the articles going slowly enough to read, but you can always pause them. You can always take a screenshot. Once you blow through the video, you can go back. Hey, I want to read something else again. Pause it, whatever. There's Ivan again, doing some overhead rack work. And you could see you could see a little bit of semblance of abs there, but just a big, strong, bulky dude. Like, imagine working out with him and Terry Todd and Doug Young. Must have been a heck of a thing. And he talks about the way he does the bench press here, which I'll just mention it briefly, but it was he let it down really slow. We're talking about Doug Young, obviously, here. And he thought that Terry did that was probably one of the keys to his huge upper body development, because although he didn't mean it as a bodybuilding method, he did it to he felt that you had to hit the best spot to get a good explosion off the chest. Therefore, he would bring it down really, really slow, and it didn't matter if it was 60 pounds or 600 pounds. He would do it the same way. And here's Terry and Jan, Todd. Again, great contributors to the sport, great athletes themselves. Just really, really helpful to everybody in the iron game. And I am going to thank you for watching and quit there. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thanks to those who have subscribed recently. I appreciate it. And I'm out.